What is up, YouTube? Welcome back. Today we are changing my rusted old rear rotors and brake pads to some fresh new ones on my E82. Stay tuned, I hope you enjoy.
All I do is adore you all of the time. I like to. I like to.
So if you're new to the channel or you're not quite sure what's going on, I already did my fronts. They're slotted, and I did some new brake pads and all that sort of stuff, and the link will be somewhere. I'll put it in the description if you want to go check that out first. But today we're doing the rears. Now the rears actually have more problems than the fronts. I think the rears, I would say, are warped, and if you can see right there on the tip of where the rotors are, it had a lot of rust issue because the caliper bracket wasn't clamping down fully. It is now, but it has caused it to sort of malfunction and not really work. So today, my good friend Woody, and I are going to be working on this bad boy. So, hope you enjoy. So just a quick recap for those who didn't go watch the other video, shame on you. But pretty much take off this supporting bracket here, undo some bolts at the back, make sure our sliding pins come out nice and easy, which are behind this little flap here. Make sure our handbrake is released because this is the rear, which means it's got the what's called on the inside, shoe brake or whatever it is, on the inside, so to be aware of that. And then, yeah, just like in the other video, we can get to it. So, stay tuned. So first things first is removing this, and it is tricky. If you remember from the previous video, you have to kind of wedge it in to get this little clip bit out, and then you have to pull from the back. Now watch your eyes, because this thing has a tendency to fly, but luckily I'm an expert. Well, don't quote me on that, but nonetheless, it's out. I put that somewhere safe because you will need this again unless you are planning on replacing it, and I'm not, because I'm lazy. So next things next is removing the dust caps from the sliding pins. Now you can do this with your fingers, like I am. You can use some pliers. That's all it is. It's pretty simple. There's one here and there's one at the top of the caliper. So this is the bottom. Sorry, from bottom. This is the bottom of the caliper. So there you go. See all that dust? That's what you don't want getting into your sliding pins. So remove the cap, put it somewhere safe. Sweet ass. Now that we get our sliding pins out and they're safely put away, this caliper should be able to come off, and bang. Pretty thin brake pads, due for a change. Yeah, not too bad. Brake wear sensor, try to push it out first. I can never get the brake wear sensor. The point is, tiny bit rusty, but ready for a change. Second brake pad off, put that to the side, unpin my sensor, just hook that up there. That's probably due for it. That's going to be changed as well. I don't have elastic, whatever they are, so I'm just going to hang my caliper like that off a spare jack stand. And we're good to go, good stuff. Alright, next thing, removing the brake caliper housing. So with the caliper housing, there's just two bolts back here of the same size. So you just go in there, break them. These are on there a little bit harder, so you might need a brake bar or something a bit larger for some leverage. But you go ahead and break those. and then this comes off, and then your rotor comes off, and then bada bing, bada boom, you're halfway there. Oh, it's one. It's coming. And that's two. Sweet, and they were a 16 mil. So be sure to use 16 mil. Alright, I'll get those off. That's the second one. And the housing comes straight off. Give this a good clean, as it might cause noise further down the road, and yeah, well, look, you just don't want that. So give this a clean and we'll chuck a butt on. But let's remove this bad boy. Now, I read in the comments, my last one, that I should put a screwdriver in the top of the vent while the caliper is on, and then spin it around until the screwdriver catches. But I'm an idiot, so I'm just gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way, which is brute strength. But luckily, this one isn't on. They're too bad, so I don't know. Count myself lucky on that one, but I'll have to do it on the other side. But there you go. There's a nice tip. So screwdriver in the top of the vent. Then keep the caliper housing on, and then as you spin it, the screwdriver will stop, and you'll be able to break this, no problem. Now, this one will be a little bit harder to get off due to the fact that it's got the parking brake on the inside, so it's a lot harder to get off. But with a little brute force and a little bit of will, you can remove it. You should be able to rotate pretty freely. The reason you're feeling resistance is due to the fact that it has that parking brake on the inside. So let's get to it and we can get this off. Cut my hand up. There it is. A little gentle persuasion goes a long way. So that's the rear one off. And like I said, the reason it's on, stays on a little bit extra, is because of these shoe brakes, which is your parking brake. You can check these to see if they're, you know, below a recommended size, but these look pretty good other than all the dust. So I'm gonna go ahead and chuck the new rotor on. We'll give this a little bit of a clean up so that it adheres a little bit better and we don't rust weld it back on. All right, perfect. I've given this a good clean and we are ready to reattach. Not reattach, sorry, attach our new one. Now this is my new brake rotor. It's the exact same as the front. The only thing I say is that in the previous video I cleaned this prior to installation, but due to the fact that it's got paint on it, cleaning is pretty much useless. So I'm going to go ahead and chuck the new one on. Snug as a bug on a rug, and that looks sick. That was so easy. Now, carefully, I'll reattach my, I don't know, guide pin. I'll tighten it properly once we get the housing bracket on. But there you go. How easy was that? Cool, so I cleaned this up, looking a lot better. I have my old bolts. There you go. I have my old bolts right here, so I'm gonna reattach these ones. We'll start with attaching the top one. Once they're in hand tighten, you can pretty much get in there with your wrench. Reattaching that with your 16 mil. If you don't have a compressor for your piston, you can use a pair of vice grips to squeeze this bad boy in. I know it's a bit ratchet, but I'm a student and I can't be bothered going out and buying that stuff. So, without further ado, you can compress it. My trusty sidekick Woody holding the camera, holding the caliper, I can use both hands to squeeze this bad boy in. Because it does take a little bit of force, because think about it, this thing does stop your car moving. So you would hope it takes a bit of force to recompress that piston. And bang, just like that, it's all the way in. Now, fun bit, well, a fun bit. We get to put our new brake pads in. And just like the fronts, we're using some Bendix Euro Plus brake pads. Come on, Woody. Nice. Kidding, boys. Sweet. So, first things first. I'll push this bad boy in. There it is, perfectly. We can place this one on the caliber housing bracket. Make sure it fits at the back. Good, looks like it fits. Now, I can take this out, place the front one on, back one on, and that should fit pretty snug if the if your piston is compressed. If your piston isn't compressed, this won't work. So make sure you compress that piston. Alright, sweet. So now we have our sliding pins that need to be coated with our ceramic high performance lubricant. I have one clean finger, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Gently apply, you know, not too much, maybe, you know, just a sweet squeeze worth on each piston, and then gently massage it in, making sure you get all the sides of your, it's not a piston, why do I keep calling it a piston? I'm not even quite sure what it's called.
Pin.
Pin, that's the one, sliding pin. Thanks, Woody.
Number one assistant right here.
Well, you're my only assistant, so.
I'm honoured, thanks.
You're welcome. Alright, cool. Now these two can come in here. So if Woody, you want to follow me? Now, we can slide this in just the way we took them out. Now, you want to be kind of delicate because you don't really want to add more dirt to it as you put it in. So it's kind of a... I give it a bit of a spin at the back until I hear that thud noise you just heard. And then same for the bottom. It's coming. There it is. Alright. Cool. Now that they're in, I can begin to tighten them up with my T45. Still by hand to start off with. Get it in there. Make sure it catches a few threads. Once you start, oh. Don't do that at home, kids. Once you start to feel it catching and you start to see the pin disappearing, you know you're on the right track. Cool. Once you can't do it no more, grab your ratchet and get to it. Two more final things before you put the wheel back on. First things is return your dust caps to their original positions. Simple as that. And the other thing is to change this brake wear sensor. So, without further ado, the brake wear sensor just kind of slots in there. So we'll get the new one and we'll check that one on. Sweet. So I can't fire my brake wear sensor again. So I'll have to replace it again another time. But for the meantime, I'm just gonna put the old one back in, and it's super simple. So if you follow me, it's pretty much, see the tip of this? See that silver strip and the tip of that? Every time you brake and you get past this, it grinds away. So that's your sensor. So this pretty much just slides back in there like a USB. There you go, simple as that. Put my little latch back on, tip of the nozzle. There you have it. That pretty much sums up the brake job we were doing today. Next thing's next, put the wheels on and we'll go for a drive, see what it feels like. So initial reaction, brakes work so much better. Those brake pads were very close to being like completely gone, like I'm talking bare metal. And like you saw on that rotor, it had rust on it, so they were definitely due as well. It feels so much smoother on the deacceleration. I think because it had that rust on it and those rotors were already pretty messed up, the smoothness of the deacceleration just on any new rotor just feels so much nicer. And I've never felt that before in this car, because when I owned this car, they were already messed up, and me being the lazy fuck that I am, didn't replace them sooner. So, all in all, massive improvement. I love them. I'll update you further on down the track of their something comes up with them wrong, but they're pretty damn sweet. Huge shout out to Woody, he's behind the camera at the moment. He helped me out massively today. They feel so much better. Pretty happy, pretty stoked. Doing them second time around is a lot easier than doing them first time around. First time around I made a few silly errors. This time around it was much easier operation. Yeah, got it knocked out in just over an hour and a bit. Yeah, so like I said, huge shout out to Woody. Thank you for that. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. If you haven't liked the video, drop a like if you enjoyed it. Drop a like for my UGG boots because they made a massive appearance today. They're pretty sick. I'm sure someone will comment on that. So until next time, see you then.